The Green Bay Packers get a double dose of bad news after their loss to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. What is it? I'm going to break that down for you guys here in this video. If you haven't subscribed yet and you are new, please take a second, help show your support, hit that subscribe button. No, I am not talking about Christian Watson's injury as part of the double dose of bad news. He did suffer a high ankle sprain in this contest, and it isn't determined whether or not he is going to hit the IR. But in my opinion, Christian Watson at this point in time is better trade bait than he is a body out there on the field. If anything, it's going to give opportunities for guys like Bo Melton or even Malik Heath to step up. Bo Melton, of course, showcased what he could do last season when Christian Watson missed multiple weeks due to hamstring injuries. The more double dose of bad news comes from the Devontae Wyatt injury. Devontae Wyatt suffers an ankle sprain in this contest. It isn't determined how long he is going to be out. Doesn't sound like he suffered as serious of an injury as Christian Watson did with the high ankle sprain, but it sounds like Wyatt will probably be out at least 1 week against the Rams. And this is a game that I would have loved to have seen Devontae Wyatt showcase what he can do against a depleted front five in Minnesota. This is a dude that is capitalizing on Jeff Hafley's defensive schemes. He's leading the Packers with 3 sacks. He had a tackle for a loss against the Vikings. The other dose of bad news coming on the front of their kicker. Packers don't have their kicker yet, whether they are saying it or not. I'm sure they are saying it just to appease the media. Braden Narvison leading the league in missed field goals. That is not a category you want to be leading in. The Packers seem to be chasing up that performance from last year's Anders Carlson to Braden Narvison currently. Of course, the Packers brought in Greg Joseph in that kicking competition between he and Anders Carlson. Greg Joseph seemed to win that battle. They drop him. They're all in on Braden Narvison, and now it just seems like, they have to be all in on him. Now, I'm hoping this dude, he's young, he's a rookie, so I'm hoping he can, just build that confidence and maybe improve. But if any opportunity comes along for a better kicker out there, you better believe that I'm sure the Packers are going to be going or at least looking that route, because the extra 6 points would have been super nice if you're the Green Bay Packers. Packers losing this contest 31-29. The extra 6 points would again give them the victory. Packers lead total offensive yards 465 to Minnesota's 374. That is, of course, because the Packers had to play catch up and the Packers throwing the ball a whole lot. We're going to take a look at that stat here in a second. But the other glaring couple stats here is that the Packers lost the turnover battle. Now, the Packers keep on par with the 3 turnovers that they've been averaging. They get a pick and 2 fumbles. Packers, of course, lose that with Tucker Kraft's fumble. And then Jordan Love's 3 interceptions. The other big glaring stat line here is that the Packers had 8 penalties again. And I think most of those came in the first half. 68 yards. The Packers keep racking up those penalties, which are just there are drive stoppers, and the Packers just can't afford to keep giving up more penalties out there. Let's take a look at the stats. Sam Darnold, of course, showing that he can fill in just nicely. Of course, the Packers out without Jair Alexander and Valentine. That is huge for them because Valentine just doesn't seem to fit it. Eric Stokes did not look good in this contest either. Aaron Jones leading with 22 carries and 93 yards, showcasing what he can do. He averaged 4.2 yards a carry, but I'm going to quickly jump over to Josh Jacobs, who averaged 5.7 yards a carry in this contest. And given the opportunity, I think Josh Jacobs would have had a better game. Is what it is. Packers fell behind. They had to play catch up, hence why Jordan Love threw the ball 50 plus times. Justin Jefferson leads the team, 6 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Now, his 1 touchdown came with a very tight coverage from Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon just turned his head the wrong way, and Justin Jefferson made that nice one-handed grab. Jordan Addison seemed to be that Packer crusher. He had 3 receptions, 72 yards. He also had that rushing touchdown, which was his first of his career. 1 rush, 7 yards, and a touchdown. Eric Stokes just looked flat in this game. Valentine is certainly the better option for the Packers longevity-wise going forward. And Packers right there, Jordan Love, 32 of 54, 54 attempts, almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Again, a couple of those opportunities came when the Packers defense gave the offense some opportunities there in the red zone. Jordan Love capitalizing on that, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He showed his rust in this game, and he showed he favored that knee in the game. I'm not too concerned about Jordan Love's performance. I think this dude is legit and he is good. He had some strikes, but then he also showed that he had some rust there as well. Josh Jacobs, of course, averaging 5.7 yards a carry. Would have loved to see more of him. Emmanuel Wilson got just about as many carries as Jacobs did. He looked okay, 3.4 yards, but you got to feed Josh Jacobs the ball. Jaden Reed is a absolute stud. 7 receptions, 139 yards and a touchdown. Dontavian Wicks targeted a ton. He had 2 touchdowns in this contest for nearly 80 yards receiving. Tucker Kraft had that fumble. That was a big loss early, later in the game. 6 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. This dude can do more than just receive and get touchdowns. He can block. He did get another holding call in this one. I think he's averaging 1 holding call per game, which then stalled a drive. Romeo Dobbs, 4 receptions, 39 yards. Okay, so let's take a look. When we start talking about Christian Watson's injury, um, this dude, he's only been targeted 8 times, which is a major concern. It's not like he's been out with injuries. He's only been targeted 8 times, and I don't think he's getting double teamed out there. 5 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. That's the stat line. He's got an overall PFF grade of 63.9. My concern is that Christian Watson is nearly non-existent over 4 games. He's been targeted only 8 times, actually 5 games. Romeo Dobbs targeted 19 times for 12 receptions, 169 yards. He's got a little bit lower PFF grade. Romeo Dobbs is certainly a more sure-handed target than Christian Watson is. Jaden Reed is a stud, nearly an overall PFF grade of almost 80, targeted 22 times, 17 receptions, 336 yards, receiving 2 touchdowns, but he even has more on the ground, which is just Jaden Reed, amazing. Dontavian Wicks, this is a big problem for the Packers currently. Targeted 22 times. Jordan Love, we know that he loves Dontavian Wicks, but he keeps targeting him. Only 8 receptions on 22 targets, 104 yards, 3 touchdowns. But my biggest concerns with Dontavian Wicks is that he's week after week so far this year, which kind of reminds me of Devontae Adams back in the day. If you remember his sophomore year, he had a whole lot of drops out there for the Packers. Again, that's kind of reminiscent of what we're seeing with Dontavian Wicks, having a lot of drops on 3rd downs or even 4th down in this game. Um, Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. Are you as concerned about the Packers loss, or are you just chalking it up to, hey, you know what? Packers at least made a game of it. I'm not too concerned. They're going to shake off the rust. They're going to look good. That's where I'm at currently. But Devontae White, I hope he comes back. Only misses 1 week in and with this injury. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, go Pack, go.